Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Running fast to the end of my life. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. Happiness comes. Gladys come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Running fast for the edge of my life. Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom. Gladys come to me. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me in, and you washed away my sin. You washed away my sin.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen. I don't have cat hair in my beard at all. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, days, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your boy, it's Hunter. Hello, hi. Oh my god, wow, there's a lot of cat hair in my beard. As I peel this out. Happy Veterans Day, everyone. To those of you who have served, to those of you okay, apparently it's one of ours first time using a mic. Jesus Christ.
What? No way.
Yeah, this man, this is I didn't expect this day to come. So let me just get so I've known Dogget for a minute, pretty much since lockdown. And I think he's been on the show one time. I think
I have
once.
never been on the show.
Have you never been on? I could have sworn you were on once.
What do you think my running joke of, so when am I going to be on the show comes from?
I mean, we have a lot of running jokes in our chat, but it's been so bad. I was on this show called For the Fans that Dogget started that he just didn't keep doing. It was like a Snyder specific thing. I was on for that. So I was on for that.
Politics were heating up pretty badly, so getting on the mic being like, Snyder is the god, just wasn't it was starting to leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, so but yeah, I've been able to dodge this bullet for years, and it's very similar to that dinner party cold open of The Office where Jim finally gets caught by Michael and he's like, oh shit, he finally got me. It's like I asked Dogget like, hey, you want to come on? He was like, oh yeah, sure, my schedule's free. And I was like, oh fuck. so
no, I talked to you about me talking about Agatha all along, and somehow I'm on the Penguin review.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a second, but I hesitantly go ahead.
Nah, don't leave me here alone, Brandon. Let's dogpile this guy.
Brandon. Hey, Brandon knows where his butter, his bread is buttered, but I hesitantly welcome to the podcast for the first time, Dogget, welcome to the show, man.
Dogget.
I again, a day I did not think would ever happen, but here we are. And then I've got friend of the show, a man who's batting 1,000 for his recommendations this year. I gotta shout him out for that. I got Brandon on. Brandon, how you doing, sir?
I am doing quite swell, my friend. Quite swell. Happy to be here, as always.
Yeah, thanks so much for making the time. So, yeah, we were gonna review Agatha and the Penguin, and to be honest, I just don't want to talk that long. I was like, that's gonna be a longer review than I'm feeling right now. So I was just like, we'll do one. So we're gonna do the Penguin, just because that ended last night. Plus, I actually want to go back through and rewatch a couple episodes of Agatha. So we'll probably have a review for that later this week. So keep an eye out for that. But
just say you have a date with a witchy girl already.
I have no
hex girl.
Yeah, I have no shame. I would tell y'all if that was the case. But what I will say is
Hunter has to get a hex undone.
Yeah, right. But since this is Dogget's first time on the show, I'll let him start. So per usual, we have what I call Soapbox Corner. This is a safe space, and I allow for my guests to go ahead and rant about anything that is upsetting them, troubling them, anything they want to shout out in a positive way. It's really just a space for you. So, Dogget, since you are the first time guest, I'm going to give you the floor. Anything you want to go ahead and rant about, shout out, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, Hunter, as you know, things have been heating up in this country quite a bit. And in that time, a miracle has happened. A common friend of ours that we all know, we all love. His name goes by Nathan. It's like every unlikable character in the shows you like. Ted Lasso.
Wow.
What's the one that he hates with all the teenagers that get naked?
Euphoria.
Terrible Nates. Anyways,
Yeah.
our dear friend Nate, who we all love, great guy, nothing
do
like
love
those
Nate.
characters.
Yeah.
Nothing like them. A long time ago, I made a bet with him that Deadpool and Wolverine would make more money than shit. What was the a
Was it
movie nobody
Dune?
even thinks about?
Was it
I'm gonna
Dune?
save him. No, wait.
Is
It might have
Marvel?
been Dune.
I did. It was
Yeah,
Dune.
it was Dune.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Dune. And basically, Dune got its ass whooped, and now he has to watch 26 episodes of Evangelion.
Good.
One
grief.
movie that came out in the 2000s called End of Evangelion, and 4 remake movies known as the Rebuild Quadrilogy.
Jesus Christ.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And he's been dragging his feet along. I don't know if you guys know how long ago Deadpool 3 came out.
that
but
was,
it
what,
was
July?
Yeah. Right.
Several months.
Late June, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, several months, and they finally started it. So naturally, I got my wings, and I will, transcend to another place of being because the impossible has been done.
Yeah.
Getting Nathan to watch anime is pretty wild. Like, so
Getting Nate to watch a television show is hard.
That's fair. Like, so I will say, I remember when Dogget brought that bet up in the chat. I was like, that's a dumb fucking bet for Nathan to take. It's like, like the Deadpool, like what Deadpool 2 almost still made a bill. Like, and it was like, yeah. So I was just like, why would you like? And I'll be that asshole, say it. I just don't think, I don't think casual audiences support sci-fi nearly to that degree. Like the fact that Dune Part 2 made what, like 800 million? I think it made about about that.
Oh, Hunter, try to
yeah.
get a friend to watch District 9. They'll get you arrested.
Yeah.
I've had friends watch District 9 have been very okay. So yeah, Dune Part 2 did 714.4 million, which isn't bad at all. That's actually really good. But
early in the year too.
DC wishes it was making those numbers.
Dude, man,
Again.
yeah. Joker could have used an additional 500 mil. But yeah, I even told Brandon, I was placing bets with people about the fact I was like, oh, dude, I was like, Deadpool and Wolverine, the floor on that's 800 million. Like I went on the afternoon tune multiple times. I'm like, that's your floor. So when it made over $1 billion, I was like, yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all. Like you can literally highlight the Deadpool Wolverine like marquee fight, and that's really all you need to do. And I was like, that's exactly what they needed to do, and it worked. So I mean, which is why the whole superheroes are dead. Like, give me a fucking break. But but props to Dune 2, because like that's number I think that's like number 7 or 6 on my best of currently. I fuck with Dune Part 2 a lot. Thought Part 1 was good, but Part 2 is fucking
another level.
That's right, Hunter. And guess what? You're next.
I'm not making any bets with you when it comes. Didn't I win the last bet that we had, by the way? I could have sworn.
I won.
Yeah, you lost. I'd just like to point that out. The last time you tried to bet me, you had to watch 9 days.
Oh, I'm just gonna wait till there's a football team you like really love and bet against them and just see you cry as you're watching Guitar Lives Alone.
See, here's the thing. I'm not dumb enough to make bets that I think in any way, shape, or form I'll lose. So like that's the difference between me and Nathan. If you throw out some bet and you're like, oh, you have to watch 80 episodes of insert anime here, I'll bet, oh, cool. This is disproportional completely. Fuck no, I'm not taking that.
You gotta bet big to win big.
Yeah, so even as high as my ass gets, I won't get that high to take on one of those dogged bets that you're gonna get 80 hours of anime. So yeah, sorry, homie, not gonna happen. By the way, I do like
Hunter to watch One Piece.
I just like. Oh, no, I have not watched One Piece. I will give you that. I have not watched One Piece. I'm actually thinking about what was the last anime I watched. Shit.
That's a good question.
Gundam Seed. Yeah. Old man.
I think the last anime I remember were like so I watched
Astro Boy.
I did watch Astro Boy. I actually like Astro Boy a lot. I mean, I think I count Ultraman Rising. That counts. That's my
Oh
favorite
man,
film.
Yeah.
Hunter
That's
was
my
the number one Big O fan when it premiered.
I I I don't get the reference, man.
I
know,
the
know.
old jokes. These are old shows,
No,
Hunter. They
no, I know that's what you're saying, but but it's just like what do you want, man? Like, but no, Ultraman Rising is my favorite film of the year so far, right now. Like I like at some point, because I guess Netflix has like an Ultraman show that they did a couple years ago, which who the fuck knew that? But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and watch that just because I loved Ultraman Rising that much. So yeah, so Ultraman's kind of my shit right now. So like anything Ultraman people, throw it at me. As far as and I'll make this kind of quick. As far as my little soapbox thing, I'm already tired talking about the election. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm already just like, oh God. And you know, we've got a couple months until y'all know. I feel like I've been just, talking
Oh,
to
white
this
ladies saying the N-word during bed got less fun now.
yeah, basically, yeah, basically. But what I will say is the migration over to Blue Sky and seeing so many people cutting off using their Twitters as often has made me really happy. I myself am gonna be I'll be using Blue Sky exclusively by the end of the year. Like I'm trying to add people on there, whose accounts I really enjoy from Twitter. But I've been getting called the N-word and other things way too frequently on Twitter, and I'm over that shit. So I will be
Does
moving
Blue
to Blue
Sky have twerking videos?
Well, I mean, there's sex workers and stuff on there. So yeah, I would imagine there would be. So yeah, dog, it's a perfect place for you and the puppet. But yeah, but I'm gonna be moving over Blue Sky. I'm over Twitter and Elon and that bullshit. People feel way too empowered over there to be assholes. So I'm just over it. What I will shout out in a positive way, and this includes Brandon, but getting back into Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 has been fucking fun.
Yeah.
So for those of you who fuck with Helldivers 2, add your boys, but I've really been digging Helldivers 2. I am hyped for next month's Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. I will be playing that like a motherfucker. I am so excited for that fucking game. Really excited for that. And then I'm really hyped for Screener season. You're gonna be getting a lot of reviews coming down the pipeline in the next couple weeks as I slowly ramp up and start to get all the Oscar stuff. So I'm gonna have Brandon back on probably next week, and we'll review the Wild Robot. I'm gonna sit down and watch that this weekend.
Oh my God!
So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna check out The Substance probably this weekend as well.
Just two of my favorite movies of the year, right there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna knock those out. And then oh God, what else? I might knock out Furiosa this weekend. We'll see what time allows. But Wild Robot and Substance, I'm definitely checking out this weekend.
Hell yeah.
I'm not excited to watch Red One just because like it just feels like a movie that's just kind of destined to piss me off.
That screams Netflix
the dynamic
movie,
duo of Dwayne Johnson and Chris Pine doesn't get you excited?
I love that you couldn't even get the right Chris. It's Chris Evans, by the way.
Chris Evans, the best Chris.
The fact that you didn't even know which Chris it was. You're like,
Look, let's just be glad I said Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, that's fair. Here's the thing, y'all. So I just watched. I haven't uploaded yet, but I just watched and reviewed Harold and the Purple Crayon. And Jesus Christ, that movie is just like, that's a movie bad enough to make you hate the things you love. Like I fucking hate that movie. If I had a kid, that would be one of those things I'd turn it off like 10 minutes in and be like, let's put on Bluey or like
something good.
Yeah, something not shit. But
you watch that movie and it's like, you know what? Maybe Supporting Trump's like the second worst thing he's done.
It's so weird too, because like it's so bad it made me question. I was like, I know Zachary Levi's been good and shit, like, right? And then like I sat down, I was like, I like Shazam, right? Like Shazam's good. And then like yeah, and then I actually went back and watched some of them. Like, no, Shazam is good. Like it's really good. But I'll be real, I got maybe 25 minutes in the Fury of the Gods, and I was not feeling it. I just kind of slowly, casually turned it off. I was like, oh, all right.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, it just wasn't grabbing me, to be honest. So the only two DCU films I haven't watched are Blue Beetle and A Fear of the Gods. So the only two.
Blue Beetle
and Joker 2.
Much better.
Oh no, I saw Joker 2. Yeah, it wasn't great. So I mean, yeah, I need to watch Blue Beetle. Everyone like people I've talked to said like at worst it's good. So I will get to it because I do want to do a DC EU.
You got to do it before he gets deported.
Oh, dude. but I don't know, man. Like just watching Fury of the God. Now, I mean, I will say Lucy Liu, sup girl. Oh my god. And I did think the actual opening sequence with like them stealing the staff or whatever, I actually thought that was like a cool sequence. But then it cut to Zachary Levi, and it's like, and the first thing he says is "I'm dumb," and I was like, "Oh, that's fitting." And I was just like, "Yeah, you know what?" I was like, I think I'm good for right now. So it's actually only more like
okay. Zachary Levi's fucked up a lot, but we all know who's the actual reason Shazam 2 sucks. Come on.
Yep.
Why?
Dwayne Johnson.
Wait, who's in it?
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, I didn't even know they were in it, to be honest. So.
No, he's supposed to be in Shazam 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
He wanted his own movie. He wanted the shift of paradigm of DC. And he did. And the monkey's paws fingers recoiled.
You're not wrong. Like, so it's so weird that there's a Shazam 2 and there's no Black Adam, and it's made even more jarring. It's made even more jarring by the fact that Black Adam says Shazam multiple times in fucking Black Adam. It's just like, God damn it, Dwayne Johnson. So
and wasn't he like teased at the end of the first movie?
Kinda.
Like there's like that empty chair.
To be fair to him, he did try hard to get the line Shazam changed. He was supposed to shout "Me!" and lightning was supposed to come down.
Nice,
perfect.
But yeah, it's I'll get to it. I'll get to it probably by the end of the year because I do want to do a DCEU retrospective by the end of the year because we got Superman in July, I think July.
And then you got to catch up all the animated movies like Look Back and Look Back Look Back.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But
what a great picture.
But I don't know. So so those are some. Oh, that's the other thing I will shout out. New Tyler the Creator album. Holy shit, that Chromacopia has been fucking amazing. That is. Yeah, that album has been fucking aces. I love that fucking album. I don't know if it's Tyler's best. I don't know if it's my favorite. Igor is still kind of my. I go back and forth between that and Call Me If You Get Lost, because I love both of them so much. I mean, fuck, you can see the Call Me If You Get Lost album artwork there, sticker there on my desk. I fucking love that album. So, but I don't know, but I'm really vibing with the new Tyler, really digging it a lot. Yeah. So last but not least, Brandon, what you got, sir?
I'm gonna hit you with some positive shout outs because I feel like my last soapbox have been complaining and negative. So I'm gonna shout out the new recent show on Adult Swim, Invincible Fight Girl, which has had 3 episodes so far. And if you're a fan of wrestling, anime, Dragon Ball Z, I think you'll most definitely enjoy the show. It's very fun. It's like the action is great. It's animated, very fun. And I don't know, it's just got a lot of callbacks to the Western animation as well as Eastern animation. Kind of reminds me of stuff like Moon Girl,
Heavily.
a little bit of a,
Heavily.
if you remember Kipo and the Wonder Beast.
I do remember that. Yeah.
You got to add the other one, the new Fairly Odd Parents.
There you go. Yeah. I heard that was good. Actually, I haven't seen any of it, but like clips I saw, I look like, oh, that's fun. But yeah, no, if you're just a fan of action, you want something really good animated show, check it out. It's only 3 episodes in. It's on Max on Sundays, and yeah, it's making me like wrestling a lot more than I already did.
I'm telling you, man. Like once AEW hits,
I'm getting on it.
Like I'm gonna be on you and be like, all right.
No,
man.
you don't have to. I will be there.
It's
Like-
it's funny you mentioned that, Brandon, because just yesterday Hunter was texting me about how he was noticing there's a lot of shows with black girls as the main character, and I was like, yeah, and you know, he gave me the ... You know, just something I've noticed.
So it's really funny that Dogget thinks there's any world where I would give him my number. I think that's really cute, but nice try. I will second Invincible Fight Girl. Brandon recommended it to me. I watched the first 2 episodes, and that is, as a longtime wrestling fan, that is so a show up my alley. Like I'm fucking with that show heavy. So again, Brandon, 100% on fucking recommendations. So
now, Hunter, you love wrestling, you love football, you love movies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like anything that doesn't hate all of us?
I mean, I'll be real. I think all art in some way hates itself and its creator. So
I was gonna say not anime, but I was thinking how many anime characters.
I was about to say don't.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say how many
Dragon Ball
look Japanese.
proves you wrong. Like
All the side characters.
Yeah, no, dude. Goku hates himself so much. Like
when I say the phrase, anime characters that look Japanese, I think about Rock Lee and the end of list.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. But yeah.
You didn't get that joke, Hunter, but everybody my age was like, ha 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 ha.
I know, you're so young. Ha ha ha. But I will say, check out Invincible Fight Girl. That's on Max. And then I'll shout out too. I'm gonna need to watch it because Alea swears by it, and I just haven't sat down and watched it more. What If? So they showed the premiere for season 3 of What If, the trailer.
Oh yes.
Trailer looks great. I was like, okay. I mean, I was like, all right, let's go.
Have you seen season 2?
I haven't. So I got through. It's the one Marvel thing I watched. I think I got maybe 3 or 4 episodes in, and I was like, yeah, I'll come back to this, and then I just never came back to it. So I mean, I think it's premieres December 22nd. So I mean, I think if I started week of Thanksgiving and just watch an episode here and there, I could be caught up by December 22nd. So I'm probably gonna do that. But that's one of those shows that Alea really enjoyed, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a fair shake because we're out of my shows, so probably what we're starting next, we'll probably start What If, probably start Castlevania. Because I haven't watched.
I'm gonna add her on Facebook, and I'm gonna send her a bunch of suggestions of what you guys can watch together as a couple. It's gonna be a beautiful time.
It's gonna be real funny when you send that request, and it's just like not accepted for like 9 months.
No, man. My profile picture is so fucking cute. It's just me side profile.
But yeah, so I'm gonna get into Castlevania. I'm gonna get in the What If. As far as oh god, is there anything else for the rest of the year coming out? Like oh yeah, there's a new Dune show. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah. I keep seeing ads for that, and I'm like, I hope that's okay.
I hope that's good. I mean, so I'll add that to the list. So I mean, there's a few things, but
shit, what else comes out this year?
But yeah, really, we're almost at 2025. I mean, Peacemaker season 2, that's probably one of my big highlights. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the final season, fucking heartbreaking. God damn you. I blame fucking Iger, you asshole. So I mean, we've got some stuff coming up, but definitely gonna give What If a chance. Gonna get into Castlevania here in the next couple months. So I'm slowly getting caught up on my TV. Oh yeah, I still haven't watched The Boys season 4. At some point,
Oh,
I'll watch
wow.
that. Dude, I'm behind, man. Like I am.
You haven't even watched Diabolical yet.
No, I haven't actually.
You kind of
That was pretty
should.
solid. That was solid. Yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
You have to watch, like, there's a specific episode that informs on this season that you do have to watch.
Okay. And then I oh god, there's another show I was gonna watch, and I'm the new serial killer show on Stars. It stars. Oh, I'm blanking on her name. Fuck, I'm gonna have to look that up. But
is it female led?
Yes.
Have either of you been watching the Aaron Hernandez or the other one on Netflix?
Definitely.
These serial killer drama shows.
I've stayed away from Ryan Murphy recently.
Yeah, I don't.
Brandon, it was October.
No, not my October. Not that. I can't do that.
Oh shit! There's nothing in December. Oh wait, no. The Lord of the Rings movie comes out in December.
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an animated Lord of the Rings movie.
I think around the same week as Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, God. Perfect. Oh, Jesus.
And Sonic. Sonic is on December.
Fuck yeah, Sonic.
We were talking shows, but yeah, movie-wise, yeah, Sonic, let's go. Like I'm excited for Shadow, and those movies have been such a wonderful surprise. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But yeah, so God, is there anything else? Oh yeah, I did watch a deep dive of Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. It could be good. I think that will be one of those games I do end up waiting for like a sale on, to be honest. I just investing that much time in the game right now just sounds exhausting. But plus between Indiana Jones or Power Rangers, sorry, but Power Rangers game
for sure.
Yeah, beat 'em up is gonna win. All right, so jumping in here for our review proper. The Penguin, which was announced pretty shortly after the Batman came out, to the surprise of many of us, myself included. So it was very interesting that they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do like this show that's gonna kind of act as a stopgap between the Batman and then the Batman Part 2. This was one of several shows originally that was announced, because we were supposed to get a GCPD show. We were supposed to get an Arkham Asylum show, and then they kind of went, well, actually, no, you're not getting either of those. You're just getting, you're just getting the Penguin, which, you know what, that's fine. Fair enough.
Yeah, that money got put into House of the Dragons, and then they cut the money from that, and they put that into the Dune show.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna cut that from something.
Pretty much everything with dragons and sand just got a major bump. But but I will say for myself, the Batman, I stand by it. I think it is the second best Batman film that's ever been made. I think it is only behind Mask of the Phantasm, which I still think is the definitive Batman film. Don't come at me. I'll tell you why you're wrong.
It's definitely top 10 Batman movies for sure.
God damn it. Because I can already hear people going, what about Dark Knight? It's like Mask of the Phantasm does everything Dark Knight does in half the time, and there's actually a good female relationship in that movie. So Phantasm wins.
Whoa. Don't blame the Dark Knight for Christopher Nolan's inability to write women.
I'm sorry, didn't he do everything the Dark Knight? So I can't absolutely blame him for
It's not his fault. He has no idea how a female acts or lives or breathes.
It's so
he has no
weird.
Comprehension.
But you know what's
Such
amazing?
A guy.
You know what's amazing about Nolan and like that that in particular is that I remember when like Florence Pugh was topless in Oppenheimer. And I was like, oh, cool, white girl boobs. And yet he films it so awkwardly and uncomfortably. It's like even you could find a way to make Florence Pugh naked be uncomfortable. It's like good job, Nolan. like you fucking goon. but
looking forward to his next movie.
Yeah, we'll see. But this show in particular, we follow Oswald. I'm gonna call him Oswald Cobblepot. I'm gonna call him the whole fucking name. God damn it. Who once again is played by everyone's favorite handsome son of a bitch, Colin Farrell. I just rewatched Fright Night a couple weeks ago. God damn, he's great in that. I'm such a fan of Colin. Like going through his filmography over the last like decade. I'm just gonna throw out some bangers here, if you would allow. So the Killing of a Sacred Deer, great shit.
Yes.
He's actually really good in this, even though the movie I think is just good, but with some great performances. Roman J. Israel Esquire, he's really great in that. He's the only
7 Psychopaths.
So I actually like 7 Psychopaths. I know a lot of people kind of shout on that movie, but I actually had fun with that. I think it's a fun, like at home, like C+ movie to check out.
That episode of Scrubs.
Was he in Scrubs? I didn't watch Scrubs. I couldn't get
Yes, you didn't recognize him because he was playing an Irish guy.
Well played. After Yang is amazing. I think he's
underrated.
Underrated as fuck.
What about Miami Vice?
I'm saying last decade, Dogget, if you're paying attention. The Lobster, great in that.
Yeah.
He's a great narrator too in It's Not Yet Dark. Widows, it's fucking god. That's one of the most underrated films in the last 20 years. I fucking love Widows. And then of course Banshees of Inisherin was one of my favorite films that year. Like
top tier.
Farrell's been on this incredible role of like banger performances. And I remember when he was announced for the Batman, everyone's kind of like, oh man, like this handsome son of a bitch, how are they gonna pull this off? And then you see the makeup transformations, like holy shit, this is amazing. And like he's got the waddle and everything down. It's like, oh my god, he's so good. And going to this show, in a show where he's executive producer, he clearly gives a fuck about this character. He's already said he'd be down for a second season of this. So if you even want to do a second season as a stopgap between, the Batman Part 2 and I think a show that'll be greenlit sooner rather than later, which we will get to in a second. I love that this show was running at the same time as Agatha, because this was scratching two very different parts of my brain, because Agatha is a very witchy, very much in that MCU ilk. But I think a show that has incredible momentum really from episode 1 on. Pretty much once Aubrey Plaza shows up, the show is just like it just continues up. And I will save my thirst trappy comments for Aubrey Plaza for our Agatha review, but my god, what a woman. And then watching The Penguin, it's like it's this gritty crime drama about someone who is a piece of shit. And that's something that I appreciate the show constantly brings up, that Oswald's a bastard. And like, but as you're watching the show, you find yourself like endeared and kind of charmed by him, and you're like, oh wow, this guy. And so when that finale happens last night, by the way, full spoilers, which we will get into, the show kind of looks at you like, what did we tell you? Like, we've been telling you this whole fucking time that this guy sucks, and now you're gonna act surprised. And it's like, fair enough, because you haven't been shying away from the fact that he's a piece of shit. And I think very similar to Agatha, I do think the first 3-4 episodes of The Penguin, it's a lot of setup, like with Agatha, but that back half is where both shows really reward you. And I gotta say, both back halves of both shows, I just went, let's fucking go. And staying with just this show, obviously, for this review, I don't know how I would rank this as far as like DCU, like, because I was thinking about like Peacemaker, and Peacemaker really hit me in a spot where I was like shocked at how great it was. And not because Gunn makes bad shit, because like he doesn't. But because Peacemaker and Brandon, you could say this as a comic book reader. What would you say? C-list character? Probably.
Yeah, before the
See?
Suicide Squad movie, like, yeah, he was definitely
Yeah.
D-list.
But it's
Like, he was not popping up in comics like he is now.
but it's the same thing, kind of like with Iron Man. Like Iron Man was a C-list character until they did.
Nah, that was
until they did-
B-list. Iron Man was B-list.
Oh, I'd say C-list for him.
He
personally.
headlined so many comics.
I know, but like how
Yeah,
many people? But how many
Peacemaker
people
is
were
like
reading?
D.
There was a
Yeah,
show in the there was an animated show in the 90s
that lasted
for
about
Iron Man.
14. That lasted about 14 episodes.
Oh, how many animated? You know what? Somebody post a Peacemaker cameo from the Justice League cartoon online, and I shared it, and somebody typed underneath it, "That's not Peacemaker."
No, like Peacemaker was definitely C-D list. I would say Iron
Yeah.
Man was like C-list myself, but Iron Man was, at least to your point, was at least getting his own comics. Peacemaker wasn't getting like shit.
No.
Like he would be maybe in the Suicide Squad run. So
I'm not dropping this. Iron Man was in video games.
I mean, that's true. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, but also it was always Captain America and the Avengers. It wasn't Iron Man and the Avengers. He was, so, but it was really, it was interesting to watch the show and kind of have that correlation with Peacemaker, because, character that's not a good person. How do you expand that out to a whole, 8-episode run? And the answer to that is pretty easily, apparently, because they found a way to make the show work. We're gonna just bounce around here, so that's fine. But what was your thoughts? I'll start with you. What were your thoughts once the show was announced? And like, what did you think about Colin Farrell's performance? We'll start there.
Well, as I was watching the show, all I could do was imagine Colin Farrell in the 5 hours on the chair, 2 hours in his 5 hours of makeup activity. And I just picture him scrolling his phone and seeing all the modern interpretations of Penguin, all the skinny, tattooed penguins that we've had over the last 10 years. And as they're applying the fat strip on his neck, I'm wondering, like, I couldn't just be me.
Right. I mean, I give him credit for wanting to do a comic accurate version, of the Penguin, because we've seen, I'm blanking on the actor's name. I think it's like Robin something who played the Penguin in Gotham, which was actually one of the better portrayals of a villain on that show. Like that show just becomes way too villain heavy. That's really its biggest issue. It's like it's just like every villain pops up.
That's Gotham Horror Story.
Yeah, like it's very, yeah, it's odd. But I will say Farrell though takes his shit like to the point that I think a lot of people wouldn't take this seriously. But Farrell clearly found something about Oswald that he's able to channel into, because Oswald, the way the show starts, Oswald kills this guy like 5 minutes in the show. I was like, God damn, like, but he made fun of him. Like he made fun of him. He was talking shit. A lesson to learn, people, that don't say stupid things like your body, my choice, and maybe you won't get slapped in the mouth. And maybe you won't get slapped. But that kill and him losing his focus and losing his temper, that sets off this incredible chain of circumstances that is wild. That really reverberates throughout the whole show, which leads to I always forgot you say her name. Is it Kristen Milotti? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so. Kristen Milotti.
Yeah,
her legal name is the mom from How I Met Your Mother.
Exactly. So leads to her Sophia Falcone, and I'll just say, I mean, I know Emmy nominations haven't come out yet,
white woman,
but she's incredible in this. So she was on this show called Made for Love that HBO Max canceled, which I was fucking angry about because it was a great fucking show, and of course they never advertised it. we can't have multiple White Lotuses, and so they went ahead and canceled it.
You only get one.
Yep, only one show with women. So they went ahead and canceled it. I think it got 2 seasons. Yeah, I got 2 seasons.
Because one was Anna Kendrick and one was Good Place
her.
Guy.
Yeah,
his name.
But I'll just say right now, we might as well. This could be what Beef was this year, where it could just like the pink one could just clean up next year. And honestly, I think that's what's gonna happen. I think she's gonna win best. I would say supporting actress, I guess. I mean she's kind of the main actress, but
she's kind of the lead, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll push her for. I'm assuming they'll push her for lead, but
yeah,
she'll probably win for that. Farrell will probably win for best actor, and then
I would honestly love to see his mom get nominated for best supporting.
Yeah. So okay, let's start breaking these characters down. So let's kind of go back to Oz real quick. So, I don't have. Oh, I thought I had it here. God damn it, I don't. Whoever did the costume design. Props to you, because everyone in the here, like, the thing about Gotham is I always want Gotham to look terrible. Like, Gotham shouldn't look like Chicago or or LA or like New York. Like it should feel distinct. And I think that's what one of the things I loved about Matt Reeves' Gotham, because he's shooting in like, London, he's shooting in places that aren't, the places I just mentioned. So Gotham has a more distinct look to it. This show picks up right after the events of the Batman. Like, the city is still flooded and shit, and there's still all these slums, and so it really is about who's going to go ahead and seize power because of these circumstances. And so, getting back to Oz real quick, he has a hustler mentality. It's I just kept hearing, hustler 50 Cent's Hustler's Ambition whenever he was on screen. But Oz, though, he goes ahead and he almost kills his kid, Victor, who's played by I can never remember how you say his name. You want to take a shot at that? Was that Renzi Flees?
Yeah, there you go.
I thought he was the dude from Smart Guy for like the first 3 episodes.
Wow,
that's a good pull.
That's a great pull, but no,
this man has aged wonderfully.
Right?
Wow. So you're gonna know him from Marvel's Runaways, which that's a show I dug a lot.
What?
I like Runaways. I like Cloak and Dagger. I actually love
you're incorrect, sir.
Yeah, you know what? We're not even gonna go down that road, but really liked him on there. And
wait, did he play Alex?
Yeah, he's Alex on there. Yeah.
God, he sucked in that show.
He did not. Weirdly hasn't aged, and that show was out
barely. Yeah.
That was out. What? That was 5. Oh my God, it's almost been 7 years. God damn, that's just
damn. Imagine being in the Runaways in that sinking ship, and Matt Reeves in his yacht just pulls you in with a life raft.
I mean, got 3 seasons. I don't think that's a.
Hey, they did a really good job of sidelining his character,
even though he's the star of the show. But sure,
but he like dies in the
he didn't have
first
one?
arc.
But I really loved the introduction to him, because Oz could have shot him in the fuck. Like, he basically pulls a Carol from The Walking Dead. It's like, look at the flowers, and he's like, I'm gonna shoot you, and he basically tells him like, no, like, I just, like, give me a shot, like, I'll do whatever you want, just give me a shot. And as someone who suffers from this, not to the same degree, but I used to go to a speech therapist when I was a kid. I went for speech therapy for years, probably, fuck, now I'm thinking about it, all through actually through middle school. I was with a speech therapist, even in elementary. So from my time I was like 6 to 13, I was going to one every week. So there's this one scene in particular where him and Oz are getting lunch. I want to say, yeah, they're getting lunch, and the waiter like asks him like, what do you want? And he's really struggling to get it out, and he's like, you can tell that he his stutter comes out during heightened points of stress where he feels like he needs to be able to kind of do something in that moment, and he's trying to say what he wants, and he just can't get through the fucking word, and the waiter like snaps on him. He's like, "Oh, it's this," and Oz really in a very cool moment goes like let him fucking say it, like tells the waiter shut the fuck up, and and Victor kind of tells him like, dude, like thanks for that, and he's like, no, I shouldn't be doing that, you should be doing this, like you need to go ahead and put your foot down, you need to set this boundary. And it's one of those moments where you go, wow, okay, like because Oz with his handicap, how he waddles and everything, he understands what it's like for people to underestimate him, make fun of him, look down on him. And so the way that he's able to relate to Victor in that way is such a fascinating like dynamic that, again, the show does such a good job of endearing you to Oz, so that when it pulls the rug out from under you and you're just like, fuck, it's like, oh well, you did warn me. But that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole fucking show. Brandon, I'll throw it to you, man. That scene actually caught me off guard. What did you think? Like as far as Oz and Victor's relationship?
Man, I had so much fun watching their relationship over the show, but like every time an episode would end, or every time they have a moment together, and Oz would say something inspirational, but also kind of foreboding, like, "You and me, Vic, we're gonna do this forever. You and me, Vic, we're going to the top." I'm like, oh, Vic is gonna not making it. Vic is not getting out of this. And
exactly.
Like, it's kind of like the same thing, like you said, like they keep warning us, and like Vic keeps going further and further into this life thanks to Oz's mentorship, and like it's weirdly endearing, like you said, like it's nice to watch this found family kind of relationship form like between them, but like at the same time, Oz, like even like says, like I think in the second or third episode when Vic messes up trying to steal like one of the cars, Oz like literally almost shoots him. Like he's like, is this easy? I can just do it right now. And so at the end of the day, Oz is like can like get rid of Vic anytime, but it's such a weird, fun, interesting relationship to watch unfold. And I think
there's a lot of misdirect because they really focus on how much Cobb really like he wants connections. He wants to feel like he's with people, and he's looking at Vic like, look, Vic, I'm fat, I got a bad leg, I got terrible hair, I'm all scarred up, I'm fat, and you got that Hugh Grant stutter, so we're the same, we're the exact same.
You and me.
Yeah. Like, but
I pay for sex, you're fucking that girl over there, we're the same.
but weirdly though, like, okay, so I'm happy you brought that up because I was actually gonna be the next thing I brought up. So Oz has this to quote Michael Scott, this woman of the night, Eve, who's played by Carmen Njogo, who from it's crazy because I recognized her from It Comes at Night. That's where my brain immediately went. I was like, oh, let's go. But then I remember she's fucking Coretta Scott King in Selma. I was like, oh shit, that is her.
Ooh, somewhere out there, Jonathan Majors just got a chub.
I just wow.
Loretta Scott Fitzgerald.
So I love the relationship between her and Oz because there's something they reveal. Fuck it, we can jump ahead because I already said full spoilers. The ending of this show of her basically numbing Oz's conscience is one of those things where I just went, wow. Like, because I was gonna wake up this morning and watch this. But then I was like, I'll be real. I was really high last night. I'm sitting in bed. It's like yeah, I know, shocker, right? So like I'm in bed. I'm sitting up with like my reading pillow, and I'm like kind of scrolling through for something to watch. And like Alea kind of just looks at me. She's like, "Do you want to watch? Like, do you think you can get through the first episode?" I'm like, you know what? Sure. And I think we got 10 minutes in that episode 7. I was like, "Fuck, I'm awake now. Let's just knock out the finale." And the thing that I love that we find out about Oz is like we thought Oz sucked. Like in the beginning, you're kind of like, okay, Oz probably sucks. you don't understand the depravity and the depths of which he sucks until the last like 10 minutes of the episode of the finale, where you're just like, dude, dude, you're such an asshole. Like, okay, so again, I know we're jumping all over the place, but fuck it. Deidre O'Connell plays his mom, Frances, who I think the Penguin could clean sweep everything. You probably know her from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is what I thought of immediately for her. Oh yeah, she is a Daredevil. That's right. She is a Daredevil. She's a Anna Nelson in that, because she's in a couple episodes of that. I totally forgot she was in Daredevil. And she's in The Affair, which if you have not watched The Affair, I would highly recommend The Affair too. But the relationship between her and Oz, Oz clearly loves her. You think like he loves her in that way, that it's his mom and he wants to do what's right for her. But then when you find out again in the last episode, this thing he did, you're like, oh no, you're a fucking monster. I was drawing the parallels last night when Alea and I were talking about it. We were talking about the comparisons between Fisk and Cobblepot. And what's so interesting is that this bout of anger is born out of wanting to protect his mom, because his dad is a piece of shit and is beating the hell out of her. And so he gets the hammer, and saves her. What Oz did is from a place of pure selfishness and not wanting to share her with anyone. And when you find out not just that he killed his brothers, but the way in which that he killed his brothers, it is such a oh fuck sort of moment that I was like, oh, that's so much worse than even I had played out in my head. And
it was like, I didn't know you were a Stephen King character.
Yeah, no, it's straight up. Yeah. Like it straight up is essentially that. And
he's like what, 10, like 11,
like to an extent, it's mustache twirling villain.
Yeah.
He's
just sitting there,
vault,
like no remorse on his face, just watching Fred Astaire with his mom, and like just
remember me.
But the way that the show cuts back to between the rain outside, them screaming in the sewer, and then cutting back to Fred, it's done in this like really torturous loop. But that's the opening of an episode. I was like, holy shit, what? Like that's the open, like, oh my god, fucking perfection. But I think that moment and that realization is so true to the Penguin as a character, because Batman, if you read enough Batman has a certain disdain for Oswald because he's such a bitch. Like in several there, even when he's like being kind of a Batman informant, there is this part of Batman that you can just tell he's just like, god damn it, I hate dealing with Oswald. Like he just he's not like pretty much any iteration, like even like going back to the animated series from the 90s, he really does have this disdain for Oswald that is actually pretty funny. And even in the Batman, like whenever he's dealing with Oswald, it's never a pleasant conversation. Batman always just wants to beat the shit out of him. And after watching this show, you kind of go, oh yeah, like Oswald's like more of a punk than than even I thought he was, which is a compliment, honestly, because it's very much comic accurate. I want to throw it back to Sophia. I've talked about this on the pod this year, how this has been kind of my, oh my gosh, women, we get it, men are terrible. But then I watch something like this and I go, oh man, men can be fucking terrible. Like the way Sophia gets fucked over is like
multiple times.
Like, yeah, it's Old Testament levels of fuckery.
You're gonna have to watch Agatha All Along afterwards.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's one of those.
If only just to see one woman win.
Yeah, because like Well, see, that's what's interesting, and we're gonna kind of we'll get into that because I do think she wins here, and I think that the fact that she doesn't get killed. So I mean, we're full spoilers, so fuck it. Oswald has a chance to kill her, and this really speaks to his ego. He's like, no, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna send you back to a place where you're tortured for for a year.
Oh no, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm gonna send your ass back to Arkham, like the worst place in the world, so you can live out the rest of your days. And
but not only that, like frame her again, like in the public eye.
Like
okay, to be fair, she did that shit.
I mean, she did, but like not all of it.
Yeah, but like it was one of those things where, and it's very, again, very comic accurate with with Cobblepot having political political aspirations. But the people of Gotham would never vote for someone that bad.
No.
But I love the way that he plays that hand, though, because it's one of those like perfect set of circumstance things where you're like, oh, this is a happy accident. I can totally take advantage of this. And that's really kind of
that's the show. That's everything he does. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is kind of these set of circumstances where you're just like, wow, you're fucking lucking out that you're not getting screwed over here, but you're screwing other people over who, let's be real, just happen to get caught at a place where you just happen to be the last person standing. Like, it really is circumstantial. But Oswald is like, he's a cockroach. He's not a penguin. He's a the way that Sophia, in theory, kills his ass at the end of the penultimate episode, just blows his shit up. You're like, oh wow, game over. And the fact he has to climb out in the way that his brothers weren't able to, it's just like, oh, like there's so much symbolism in so many of these certain moments. But I want to delve more into Sophia here. So I think it's episode 4. I think it's 4 where we basically kind of get her backstory. And so we find out, of course, that that her dad, who's played this time by Mark Strong, instead of John Turturro, which who plays Carmine Falcone. So apparently John Turturro was uncomfortable with like the depictions of violence against women in the show, apparently, which is why he didn't come back.
Excuse me, I'm going to be in a Michael Bay movie.
And I'll be real, dude. That was kind of my thought. I'm like, really, man? Like you're like, that's your line, but the outright.
Did you not watch the Batman where he was like literally choking?
Right. That was another thing. I was like, okay, like it felt.
All the subtext was already there in the Batman.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lame duck argument.
Didn't he play a lawyer that would do prostitute cases and then fuck them when he won?
Oh yeah, he did do that, didn't he?
That sounds familiar.
The night of?
That's right.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's a very
really
weird. Show. It's a very weird, like, I don't know what he's kind of trying to do here, but honestly, we get Mark Strong, and honestly, that's an upgrade because Mark Strong is fucking wonderful, and what Sophia finds out is that Carmine has been killing women all throughout Gotham, and this basically being like, like, shut the fuck up. And so when she calls him on it, and let's be clear, she kind of calls him on it. Like, she calls him on it in the way it's like, hey, these women are disappearing. That seems like weird to me. And there's this
like, Sophia, you coming at me like that? Like, your father.
Hey. She was like, hey, remember that mom existed? And he was like, Sophia,
whoa.
Why would you hurt me like this?
Why you gotta bring up those feelings, Sophia?
Yeah, the gaslighting is insane. Like he barely brings her mom up, and he's already just like, "Whoa, you're hurting my feelings." Like, why would you bring up such a bad
crazy,
memory,
Sophia?
I found the only pair of mom's shoes you didn't burn. Why would you keep those?
And like the next day, he has her ass committed to Arkham. I was like, what an ass!
He's like, you're unwell. He's like already like, you can see it happening.
The good old days.
Oh yeah, like he flat out tells her, like, in that moment, like, you're supposed to be the new head of the family. You were supposed to be the chosen one, and you're
unwell.
you can see in real time him going like, okay, how can I fuck her over and get her
Yeah.
out of here? and
You've
the
angered
way-
me so much, Sophia. I'm gonna give the role to the cheating husband from the fabulous Miss Maisel.
Right. And it's really fun, like the way that they actually depict Arkham too, because I do think that's something that's not done great throughout the live action Batman films. I would say is Arkham definitely feels like, I don't even know what you call it. Like it feels
You
like
know,
a
like a
place.
stage play where the set gets reset every show. That's what a Nolan movie feels like, because Gotham gets destroyed in every movie,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
looks
right
different
back
in
to
every
normal the
movie.
next movie.
yeah. Like there's no,
Here, Gotham's still fucked.
which I
Yeah.
appreciate. Like I appreciate the fact that it's not just like magic,
It's more
magic
fucked.
erased away. Yeah, and but the depictions of mental health in here, it's fucking tragic. Like the way that she's put through the fucking ringer, and even talking to her brother, the one that Penguin killed, the way that he's even like, I had no idea what was going to happen. And I honestly believe him. I honestly believe that he
Yeah.
didn't have any idea, but it's him against literally the family, and the family's like, fuck her and fuck you, basically. Like her
Yeah.
ass needs to go. And the way that she's just so like, I didn't do this, and she's like fucking crying and like begging for someone to just listen to her. And Gotham has always been one of those cities where it's like, oh, a little money here. Like, what was that? Oh, your paperwork ended up outside or or buried or shredded. And and Carmine clearly thought, okay, Arkham's gonna break her to a point that I'll never see her again. So when she does get out, it's like, oh shit, like all hands on deck. This is not good. And the scene that she has where she calls the whole family out for doing nothing.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite scenes in anything all year. She is horrifying. She is terrifying. And I'll be real, and maybe this is just a white people thing where they just think like where paranoia is just not as prominent. There's no fucking way I'm sleeping in that house after she gives that speech. like there was like, honestly, when they all died, I'm like, you're all fucking morons for going to sleep anyway. I would have fucking left. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Okay,
Like,
I'm gonna call bullshit right now, Hunter. Are you gonna look at the audience? You're gonna look at the audience in the eye right now and say, at a family table with up to more than 6 people, one person hadn't stood up and told the entire family to fuck off. Come on, it's 2024, Hunter.
dude, there's no way I'm sleeping in that house. There's no fucking way. Like, I looked at Alea. That's the first thing I said. I'm like, it's like, if like, especially if I have a kid, it's like there's no fucking way I'm staying in that house. Like, I'm leaving immediately. They don't, but because like, but let's be real. Like, to Doggett's point, I do think there is that aspect of, I'm so powerful and I have so much money. Like, who's gonna fucking touch me?
Yeah,
I think
they underestimate her like the whole time.
Yeah, and what she does, the killing of them, is fucking amazing. The way she kills them is so fucking cool.
Gonna gaslight me, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
like, no, okay, all right, I'll give you that. Well done. But the way she takes the daughter outside to like the greenhouse and everything too, like it's probably the most like comforting she is throughout her whole tenure on the show. But yeah, when she goes to that house, it just starts fucking shit up. You're just like, oh, that is bad for all of you. And I the juxtaposition between her and Oz is so interesting from that perspective, because Oz started off as her driver, and there is that point where we get the flashback as far as like how they know each other and everything. And Oz fucked her over royally. And when he's like, oh, I didn't know like what he would do, I think at first, once I heard that, I was like, okay, maybe he didn't. By the end of the show, I was like, oh, the fuck you didn't. You knew exactly what, like, you knew.
Even when he's telling her that, he's like, I didn't know what was really gonna happen, but he's like at the same time not apologizing for the position it put him in. He's like, I'm sorry, Sophia, but I do it again.
But
Look,
you know
Sophia, I
what?
thought he was gonna kill you. I didn't know he was gonna.
Right?
My God.
I mean,
Right? Come on.
I'll be real. If he'd said that, it would have been just as believable as what he actually does say.
Yeah.
Because it does kind of come across like I thought like you'd just be off the map. I didn't think you'd
Yeah,
hit
right.
Arkham. But but to your point, Brandon, I appreciate the fuck out of that. The fact that he actually admits the fact that he's not sorry for the position he put himself in.
Yeah.
And you can even kind of see that she looks at him like, okay, you're a prick, but I'd rather you be a prick to my face than you doing it behind my back like you've been doing. So I appreciate the fact that he was just like, yeah, like you put me in this position, fuck you, I don't care. The thing about Oswald though is that he's what's that one kid? He's that one redheaded sidekick kid from Recess. You know who I'm talking about. Like,
Oh,
yeah. He like the penguin's basically Randall. Like he'll do whatever he has to do in order to elevate his stock at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like that's who he is. Even like the triads and like these other gangs, when he's trying to bring them together, they all call him on that shit. They're like, dude, we know who you are. Like you'll fuck over whoever you need to in order to achieve power. And Oz, of course, because he's got a silver tongue, he's able to spin a lot of his shit and kind of go like, no, like you know, kind of like the come on, baby, I would never
pretty much.
He's pulling that shit. But there is the speech he gives where he talks about how, you know, how these gangs have been underrepresented and undervalued, and they've been doing the shit work and all these things. And he really kind of gives this almost Captain America-esque speech where you're kind of like, okay, yeah, like I would, okay, yeah, I'd ride for you, like
one way out. One way out.
Yeah, basically, like it, but it works. And like as I was listening to the speech, I was like, man, I get how people would actually want to run through a wall for this guy. And you're speaking to people, you know, who've been working in these gangs for years. And the fact that so many of them turn, it's because they've been undervalued, they've been stepped on, they've been doing the shit work, and you're like, oh, like it's basically like if Charlie were to just poison the gang on It's Always Sunny, it would basically be this. Like that, like if Charlie finally just was like, enough Charlie work, enough's enough, like that's it would basically be this. But one thing I haven't talked about yet is the violence in the show. I actually think like there's some really good action shit, a lot of fun gunplay. It's violent as hell too. Like when people get killed, people are getting stabbed like through the neck and like getting
you're gonna see the exit wound.
You're seeing, you know, you're seeing people shot in the head point blank range. Like it's very brutal in its violence, which I
good old HBO.
Yeah, I mean they know their shit. I haven't mentioned him yet, but fucking Salvador Moroni is played by Clancy Brown. I was so happy to see Clancy Brown. He's in this show longer than he was in Gen V, which I was happy about.
Yeah.
Well, because I saw him in Gen V. I was like, oh shit, Clancy Brown! I can't wait to see what he does this season. And then it's like,
that's what he does. Yeah,
yeah. It's like da 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 da. But let's talk about him real quick. He's wonderful. He has a wife and kid in the show, and I appreciate how the mob does get into the whole like, yeah, sure, you have a family, but we don't really care that you have a family. And actually,
nobody wants you to have morals.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. Like Sal is such a emotional character. Like in this, probably the most emotional mob in this show, besides Oswald in a different way. But like I think there's like a scene where Sophia's talking to him and she's like, my dad thought like your emotions or like you having a family was a weakness, and she's like, I see it as a strength. And so like she uses that Sal's like emotions like to play into like her hand to play into getting Oz, and it works almost, but
almost, yeah.
I don't know, Sal is such an interesting character in this show, especially like when like, because in the beginning, first half of the show, you think him and Oz are going to be like, you know, teaming up, and then of course,
the show does that 3 times with Oz.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I guess Oz and this person's teaming up. Oh, never mind.
Oz betrayed him.
Well, that's the thing that's so great, and I'll throw it to you, Doc. It's like Oz is really good at fucking people over. So like the tables are always getting switched up. So you're like, okay, like because to your point, Brandon, you're like, oh, it's gonna be him and Salvador, and then like he talks shit about his wife, talks shit about his son, and then so he's like, fuck you. It's like, oh, so it's not gonna be them. Like, all right. Like Oz just can't keep his fucking mouth shut. The way Oz tries to get him killed in Arkham is some cold shit. It is some cold shit he tries to pull. And when Salvatore's like, motherfucker, you didn't get me killed.
I lived.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the keys. I was like, oh, Oz. Like, oh, come on, man. Like, you gotta think this shit out better. But he says,
I look like Sean Bean? I'm Clancy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I mean, actually, wait, when did Sean Bean die in Game of Thrones? He died in the finale, right? Season one?
Second to last. He didn't make it the full 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, we'll see. So he's almost like Clancy Brown, but yeah. God, I'm trying to think of who else I want to bring up here. I always love seeing this dude just because he must be the nicest guy in the world, because in real, like, whenever I see him something, he's playing a piece of shit. I was so happy to see Michael Kelly in here. Like, as soon as Michael Kelly shut,
piece of shit.
Yeah, he again, he must be the nicest guy, because whenever I see him, he's playing such a bastard. That is maybe my favorite scene in the show, is when Sophia just shoots him point blank range. Like, just straight up shoots him in front of everyone. I was like, A, this bitch is crazy, but B, also, I could fix you. Come on, baby. Let me give me a chance.
You know he was going to be a piece of shit because his name started with cousin.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good sign.
And you know, point to Dogget, because you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, I love the way, though, like, he just straight up refuses to take. That's kind of like one of the themes of the show, is like anyone taking responsibility for his shit, because like the Falco, like, they fuck Sophia over royally, and when she flat out tells them, "You fucked me over, all of you fucked me over," because the thing is, it's not enough that her dad sent her to Arkham. Any one of them could have went up to Arkham and been like, "Yeah, this is bullshit. You need to let her out." Any of them.
Yeah, and remember, like, her dad got them all to write like letters, basically saying, confirming, yeah, Sophia is crazy. She's nutso.
So when she gets out and she's going off on them and they're all looking uncomfortable, I'm like, yeah, you should be uncomfortable, because you fuckers fucking lied. And
Man,
so
she was letting it all out. She was looking at all of them. Uncle Vinny, how could you? When I was younger, you used to bounce me on your lap for hours. Or Uncle Fred, when we would play Twister, Naked Twister, for all morning. Or Cousin Ronnie, when we would bathe together till I was 16 and got too old.
I mean, he doesn't come right out and say that, but it's closer than it should be. is what I'll say.
You know, one small thing that of note in this show that I really loved. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Oz's crew is fucking great.
They are.
It's like they got bumped up from background characters to like, hey, I don't think we're gonna kill you guys all the time. Yeah. Like the one mushroom drop with Salvatore's wife, and he had one guy with him. And come on, we were all thinking it. We were all thinking, oh, well, the next scene, this guy's gonna be filled with holes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah, but you see, like, but that's always such a thing in Gotham and in Batman canons, that they do get these henchmen, and there's always like 2 or 3 that are like those loyal ride or dies that, you know, carry over sometimes into multiple issues, and you're like, oh, okay, like yeah, they're same thing with Two-Face's gang too. Like they're Gotham's actually weirdly good about that.
And there was one dude that survived an explosion. It's like 10 years ago, your head would be rolling across the concrete.
It reminds me of one of my like favorite Venture Bros quotes, like talking about henchmen, is like they ride the line of like almost expendable but also immortal, where it's like they're around enough, but also they could die whenever it's chosen to.
Fair. Man, I'm trying to think of other scenes I want to bring up. I haven't even brought him up yet. We need to. Fucking Theo Rossi, man.
Mhm.
It's really weird. This is the second time that he is fucking a woman in a comic book show who is completely emotionally unstable, and he should be running the other way.
But he was
Because
like, no. Run
yeah, like
towards.
yeah, we run towards, yeah. Because I will say,
Don't look into her eyes. She turned your dick into stone.
because I went back through and I rewatched some season 2 of Luke Cage, and man, where Shades as a character ends up is so
That was Shades.
fascinating. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Shades. Yeah,
You didn't recognize him without the shades.
He looks
Yeah.
so much less like Adam Sandler in this movie. In
but he's an incredible actor, and and again, he's another guy who I think just must be an incredibly nice guy, because when I see him and shit,
He
he's
always plays
typically
assholes.
yeah, he's always playing a dick. Like him in Army of the Dead is like
Supreme asshole.
oh
Like in there.
god, he is a fucking super villain.
Like the one where you're waiting for him to die. Like that kind of
yeah,
asshole.
exactly.
So, were you guys waiting on the shoe to drop with his character? Were you guys waiting for like the reveal or something, where it's like he gives his ID to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I like your real name better, Hugo Strange."
No.
So okay, so
I
so
didn't
Doc,
need that.
I kind of thought he might have been Jonathan Crane for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting those, especially once the red light therapy makes its way in. I was kind of like, that's interesting. Like this feels like something Scarecrow-esque, and
Yeah.
then they don't do it. I was kind of like, that's fine. I'm not mad at y'all for not, for not
Yeah.
doing
Well,
that.
but with the way he's acting, he's either a supervillain or he's a pervert.
I
I mean,
mean,
the second one.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a little
Supreme
both.
down bad.
Well,
Like,
well, they show a scene where Sophia and him have clearly just
tied up.
fucked, and he's like tied up, like
yeah.
And
And it-
listening.
Yeah, he's in it, man.
yeah, and glistening. That is true, but I loved his portrayal in here, because he's the one person in Arkham who kind of gives a shit about Sophia. And there's this point where she's like reaching out, like handshaking, like help me, and it kind of cracks through, and he goes ahead and he does have this sympathy for her. Which I'll be real, how sad is it that of all those people in Arkham, he's the one person who was like, maybe this is wrong. It's like, oh man.
He's
And
like, no, this is for science. Continue torturing her.
But
yeah,
doctor, I think we could do better if we put these
yeah.
electrifying strips on. Okay, I'm not gonna make that joke. Never mind. Tear it down. Walk it back.
It honestly, like, man, if this is a Snyder movie, it's like, oh my god, it's like Sophia wanted me to give her that lobotomy. Like,
It's called
just,
Sucker Punch. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But getting to a few more things here before we wrap up. Where this ends up is amazing. Brandon
Chilling.
yeah, oh no, something can be amazing and be chilling, because Penguin gets away, Sophia is back in Arkham. So let's talk about that. So Sophia being left alive, I went, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
happy she's
good.
still alive. But then she goes ahead and she gets a letter from Zoe Kravitz to Selena Kyle, which when they
Yeah.
did that, I was like, oh yeah, she's the half daughter. Yeah, that makes and the look that Sophia has as she's reading that letter is such a oh shit.
They
Sort
even
of
play
moment.
like Catwoman's theme from the movie.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And you're just like, oh, that's like, because there was that part of me that I was like, okay, how are they gonna, like, I don't think they'll kill Sophia. I think it's too good of a performance to just kill her off. But this actually sets up a very interesting precedent for what I think they're gonna do. I think there's gonna be a Selena Kyle show. I think that's gonna be the stopgap for the Batman Part 2.
Is Zoe Kravitz available?
Yeah, super available. She's no longer with Channing Tatum.
I know my nigga C Tate's a single now. It's fucking tragic, but I mean, we know how great Zoe Kravitz is. She's amazing. Selena Kyle, her writing a letter to her makes a ton of sense. Canon wise, it's a very interesting adjustment, and that leads to a potential like team up between the two of them, which yes, please give me more Zoe Kravitz. Like,
I mean, it does lead to a continuity issue. It's like she sends her a handwritten letter. It's like, where do you find a pencil?
Right. I mean, maybe it was, maybe
was it written in blood? I mean,
you
still use pens.
I mean, I still use pens, so yeah.
When's the last time you written a letter, Hunter, and mailed it?
A couple months ago, actually.
Well, when there was no money inside of it.
a couple months ago.
Just glitter bomb somebody.
No. But that's a very interesting like thread that they leave hanging. I'm like, okay, that's okay. Very clearly was done intentionally. The thing that killed me is Oz's mom, as we talked about. So we knew that Oz killed his brothers. What we didn't know is that she knew. And she knew from the time that it happened. Like, she knew that day. And you're just like, holy shit, she's known this whole time, has had to live with that. But then you find out that she was going to have Oswald killed, which you're like, what? So he would have been 10. And so she's like, she's going to
putting the hit out on your like 10-year-old son.
Yeah. How wild is that? Like, and she only pulls the trigger, like she only pulls the trigger, but she only goes ahead and like stops it like at the very last fucking second, which is so crazy. Like, she had him get all dressed up to the nines. Very clever way to go ahead and get his like comic accurate look in the show, which I was very happy to see. I was like, okay, love that. I'm looking for him because I can't. Okay, yeah, here we go. Ryder Allen, young kid.
That kid's great.
Props to you, man, because he was in that Justin Timberlake film Palmer. He's actually one of the few good things about that piece of shit. But I was so stoked for this kid because he nails it. He nails the mannerisms. He nails the walk, like the waddle. Kid's fucking awesome. So young man, props to you, good sir. But the way that he says everything with such conviction, like, I'm gonna get you up there, ma. Like, I'm gonna give you like whatever you want. Like, I'm willing to do whatever for you, ma. And just the way he says it, it has that underline of like, oh, this is how sociopaths talk. This is how this is how this shit starts. And you can see the way she even looks at him. She knows it. She knows it in real time, how driven to a horrifying degree her son is, and it being the only kid she has left. It's so
no. At the risk of starting a debate about the scene where he kills his brothers, do you think it's because is it that he was obsessed with his mom, or was it because he was mad that his brothers fucked with him?
A little column A,
I think it's more the mom. And like,
you're the middle child, and if you're the middle child and the oldest child and the youngest child fuck with you like that, that does do something to your brain. It does fuck.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, that moment where like they're down there and like he's like, you guys know I can't climb down there, and he's like,
that felt like kind of the linchpin moment where he was like, okay, I'm done with this shit. Because to your point, and I won't lie, I was on Oswald's side on that, because I'm like, he has this like, he has this disability. Like, why would you climb all the way the fuck down there to get him to like find you? Like, when he's like, I found you, I shouldn't have to come all the way down there. I was like, no, I agree with you, man. Like that. Now, if there's a lesson, kids, don't go all the way down to the bottom of the sewer. Go ahead and stay at level 2.
Lesson.
yeah. If the penguin teaches you to do anything, kids, but
From serious.
but the way that Sophia like takes Oswald and his mom back to that club they're at, the fact that she looks at him and goes, your mom already knows, like, I'm about to cut off one of her fucking fingers, you just need to admit to her. And he can't do it. He cannot admit what he did to his mom, even though she flat out yells at him and says, I know what you did, and stabs him in the fucking stomach with a broken bottle, and he still will not admit to, because I think what it is, man, like, saying it out loud, it becomes real. And he just cannot accept that shit. There's this great scene later on in the finale where he's talking to Vic, and Vic is like, holy shit, dude, what happened to you? And he's like, oh, Sophia stabbed me. And you're like, wow, like even you're already pushing it down. It's like, nope, can't admit that my mom.
It happens like later on too. Like I think he's talking to Vic again. He's like, do you think she'll ever forgive me? He's like,
yeah.
And Vic's like, forgive me for what? And he's like, a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things. And,
it was crazy, Vic. Sophia dressed like my mom, and wait a minute.
So okay, so I'm happy you brought that up, because that's where I was leading to. So that leads to this insane 1-2 combo, because he kills Vic basically after he says he thinks his mom would forgive him. So he needed him to give him that.
And it's that moment where Vic says, like, we're like family now, and that's just like the.
And it's and that's all.
Okay,
go ahead.
I gotta ask another question about that. Do you think, how long ago do you think he decided to kill Vic? Was it when Vic said that they're family, and Oswald kind of realizes he loves them too? Or is it before that?
Yeah, I think it's before that, honestly.
I think it's before, but that family moment definitely, like,
that was the
nail, and the hammer and nail.
That was the linchpin to. I'll be real. I think he decided he was going to kill him when he came back for him. I think he decided in that moment, because he was like, I think that was kind of what put the family stamp on there. And then him actually verbalizing it is when he was like, okay, like, you're too close to me. Like, I can't, like, it really is that Thanos moment where he's like, like, I'm, basically like, I'm sorry, little one, like, you mean too much to me. Someone could take advantage of this. And he's like, I can't have that. And it's like the way he does it too, just chokes him out and then just takes his ID and throws it in the water. Like,
takes his money too. Like,
like a fucking prick. Yeah,
unidentified male.
Jesus.
Yeah, and you're just like, what a fucking asshole. So there's that. And then, to Doggett's point, we get to the end of the show, and fucking he's got the girl back in. Yeah, he's got her wearing his mom's dress while he has his mom in a vegetated state in this room out overlooking the city, like he promised her. But what kills me about that is just a single tear that falls down her face. And it's one of those things where, it's obviously open to interpretation because you can't say anything, but it's like, is she crying because she finally got what she wanted? Or is she crying because she knows what Oswald is? And at this point, there's no one who can take him down. It's clearly the latter.
I think in her fantasies, in the Skyrise, I think she had legs in the fantasies.
I mean, probably, yeah. But
like, mind you, remember, like, I forget which episode it was. I don't know.
Probably had a couple Brandons in her arms.
You never know. But she's like suffering from like memory loss, and like there's a scene where Oz helps her out of the bathtub, and she's like, if I ever like get like too far gone, like I want you to kill me. Like I don't want to be sitting there staring at nothing. Like I need to be gone. And like he promises her that in the moment, but like at the end, like you said, at the end of the episode, he just has her like basically like a trophy, like in a vegetative state, just staring outside the window as he dances with his not mom. As his not mom tells him how proud she is of him.
And keep in mind, he promised her. He promised her he would not let her be that. And you're just like, she is a physical representation of what he wanted, plain and simple. Yeah. And the fact that he did that, and again, that single tear, you're like, holy fuck. And then to your point, Brandon, when he's dancing, and he's making her tell him that like you did it and I'm so proud of you. And I was like, holy fuck. Like it's such a dark, like, oh, that's uncomfortable. Like it's very Norman Bates's
Oh,
honestly.
for sure.
Okay.
Like,
okay. Is he still banging Eve?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call me your bull.
You're my big bull of a boy.
Right. Like it's one of those things that when the show, like as it ended, I was like, oh no, this has so many, like it's really everything that Joker told me his relationship with his mom was, but actually like displayed out throughout this show.
Yeah.
It's way darker than I thought they would go. And I give them credit for that because it actually disturbed me, which is what some shows should do that sometimes, y'all. Not everything should make you fucking, feel gleeful.
It really makes you see what a bad show Sopranos was.
Oh, you can come at Dogget in the comments. I could never get in Sopranos. I gave it a couple of chances, but yeah, what are you gonna do? But getting my final thoughts. Man, this was a kick of the balls in the best way. This was just every episode. So I will say it's very similar to Agatha. I do think the first 3 episodes, it's definitely like set up. But once the world is established and we have like our players like in the game and on the board, I think the show takes off tremendously. And like I said, I think that back half of the show is stronger than the first, but I think that's the case in, a lot of shows that I love because you do have to set everything fucking up. I don't really have I was sitting here kind of like thinking about complaints, and I don't have any glaring ones. I do think that I think episode 6, it's a little fillery if there is a complaint, but that's me. But I'll be honest, that's me kind of grasping at shit. To have a complaint. I was engaged this whole time. Everything that the show threw at me, I went, yeah, this works. I love that we get like very comic accurate Penguin at the end of the show. Like we get the top hat, we get the like I love that we're heading in that direction. And to those morons who were like, he's not the Penguin, the Batman, because yeah, he fucking shouldn't be. It's like the very fucking beginning. Like it's very, it's year 2. Like we literally see it's Batman year 2. These villains should not be the prime version of themselves. And the fact that Colin Farrell's already said he's down for a second season, I'd love the second season. I think you could have the second season be like your Selena and Sophia versus Oswald show. Like that could be your premise right there, but I dug this show so much. I won't go fan fucking tastic. I won't go there, but I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna go very like I'm kind of leaning towards an A plus because like I'm thinking about I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna stick with an A, but it's a very enthusiastic A. Yeah. So yeah, A for me. We'll save Dogget for last. Brandon, your final thoughts and grades, sir.
Yeah, I fucking love this show. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. I think initially, like most people, I was like surprised the Penguin was getting a spin-off show, but like after watching the Batman, like Colin Farrell was one of my favorite performances in that movie. I was like, hell yeah, give me whatever the hell this show is going to be. And I can say I was very much satisfied with what the show delivered. It's a very much good appetizer, good in-between meal before the Batman Part 2. And I think like it'll be even one of those shows like better on rewatch, like kind of like knowing what we know now from the ending, like and just kind of like putting that in perspective. But yeah, no, this is like one of my favorite performances in a TV show this year. Like we mentioned, like I hope they sweep the Emmys. Matt Reeves has like somehow Matt Reeves can't even like put all glory to him because he has great people working on the show as well. The show writer, I think, is Lauren LaFranc.
Yeah, she was showrunner as well, which props to her.
Yeah, she was killing it.
Yeah.
But no, like they somehow created this. We've seen Batman like so many times, seen Gotham so many times. They somehow created this world where I'm like just as excited to see like a side character from the Batman pop up in this show, as I am like Bruce Wayne. Like when the chief with the raspy voice popped up, I was like, hey,
oh yeah. I was like, oh, let's
go. Even like at the end of this episode, at the end of the finale, we get Bella Real. We get a little bit of her.
I was stoked on that. I was like, okay, like yeah.
But yeah, no, like I'm so interested in this world. I love what this show did and just more like further expanding the underground. And yeah, I'm just super excited for whatever comes next. I think Colin Farrell said recently that he's already, of course, signed on for Batman Part 2 and probably 3.
Yeah. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
And Matt Reeves himself has said like they're open to more spin-offs of like characters as long as it's like as focused and like dive deep into the character like Penguin does, like not just doing it just to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love the show, man. I think I'm going fan-fucking-tastic. A+ for me.
Ooh, okay. You're taking the plunge.
Yeah, highly recommend. I like even if you don't like cape shit. I know we're in the times where people are like, maybe comic book stuff is bad. I disagree. Mainly IGN, because how do they give this show a 5? But
to be fair, they did the same thing for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it pissed me off just as much when they did that. That's why I saw
they're dumb.
IGN is bad.
This show's great. We didn't even like talk about it, but I love to mention like the score, like is done by Michael Giacchino's son, Mike Giacchino.
Yeah.
So
Nepo baby, no, but he killed this shit though. Like props to him. Soundtrack is great too, by the way. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've got. Just a super good show. I had a great time with this. Gonna miss it.
All right, and now we're getting at. No, I'm kidding. I will. Yeah, you know what, man? I don't really have a reason to not give this a fan-fucking-tastic. So
right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like because like I think I'm thinking about it in correlation to Agatha, but I also enjoyed Agatha as much for different reasons. But I'll say that for that review. But yeah, no, I think that this is just such a great new entry into this world, and I'm just curious how Reeves continues to build it out. So yeah, retraction, fan-fucking-tastic from your boy. Dogget, your final thoughts and grades, sir.
I can't wait till we see the different versions of the Penguin fat suit. They're gonna start treating it like the Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
like we're gonna get
the museums.
Season 5 of the Penguin, and it's just the like nanobites that form around Colin Farrell to make layers of fat.
That's the future I want.
Right, let's go.
No, but surprisingly, I love this show. Like, I'm not even a fan of the Batman. Like, I know you guys have hard-ons and you play sword fights because of how much you love the Batman.
Yeah, it's a great fucking movie.
I fell asleep during it. I kind of thought it was boring. It goes on too long, and it kind of has an unnecessary last act. But the Penguin does everything that's not that. It's interesting. Has these dynamic characters. My God, there's like some intense scenes in this show that will probably go to the top 10 of the year. There's like, I don't want to give him credit, Hunter. They could have just hired a fat guy. They could have. Jason Segel could have done this.
Jason Segel he could not do this. Are you kidding me? That might be the dumbest. That might be the dumbest thing I've heard you say, and that's covering a lot of ground. For you should be ashamed for saying that statement.
Okay, maybe not him, but you know what I mean.
No, maybe not. No,
then,
he could not.
But this motherfucker puts on $10,000 worth of makeup effects, and is just like, I'm gonna be a better fat person than all of you, and he does it. He does it.
He does.
Oh, it's infuriating. Fan-fucking-tastic. Proven wrong. Egg on my face. No, you don't even have to watch the movie to enjoy the show. The
Yeah,
flashbacks in the show hit harder than the movie.
I wouldn't go that far, but I like what I will say. Like Doggett is right though, in the sense of like the show does enough to catch you up that you don't really need to watch the Batman. I probably would. I mean, granted, I love the Batman, but you don't
Yeah, I was
really
gonna say.
need to. It does give you enough of kind of a Cliff Notes version of the universe to kind of be like establishing it. Even with Sophia's flashbacks, you get that too.
Even
So
the letter at the end, like even if you
yeah,
don't know the backstory of that, that's just like a
Yeah, that's
like a
interesting.
little glimpse of like a little bit of light in this room of darkness
Yeah.
that just shines on
Yeah.
her. Like Rick in the
Exactly.
tank when Glenn like talks to him in the walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
This might that's actually very
exactly. Very
that's actually
good.
very that's actually a very apt
Comparison.
comparison. I would say if anything, this actually might, if you haven't seen the Batman, this will probably actually get you interested in watching the Batman.
Yeah,
So
I would say so.
so yeah, if you haven't seen the Batman, I would definitely, I mean, it's on Max, you might as well fucking watch it. At least that Batman's getting sequels. Womp womp.
Yeah, when you see that rookie Batman fumble the case so bad, you can see why Gotham's in shambles.
I mean,
Yeah. Where the hell is
yeah,
Batman the whole time?
right?
You on break, Bruce?
Yeah, I mean,
Eating
you
out
know,
a cat.
I
Searching
God-
for Selena in
God,
Bloodhaven.
God damn it, well done. So I did just read, yeah, Colin Farrell said his Penguin has 5 or 6 scenes in the Batman 2, and he's signed on for a 3rd film. So there you go. So yeah, fan fucking tastics across the board for the Batman. God damn it, for the Penguin. There we go. But
The goddamn penguin.
the goddamn Penguin. I will say I do hope we get I like that we got the traditional black suit and like the black top hat. I do hope we get the purple in the Batman part.
Yeah,
2.
because I feel like they're teasing it with like the purple cars. It's like the second
Yeah.
purple car he's
Okay,
got.
what's the occasion we're gonna get the top hat? What do you think? Is costume party, a banquet, a ball, maybe?
Something
a
like that.
ball,
Because
like a political ball, I would say.
yeah, by the end of the episode, Penguin's very much leaning towards political,
which I love
aspirations.
that. Which
Yeah.
again, that's comic canon. That's very
Yeah.
like.
And
there's
as
a
we
lot
go
of
to the
directions they can go there.
20s, I think we're gonna see like actual real life political figures go back to top hats.
Let's do it.
I'll be
Bring the
real.
top
I
hats
can
back.
see that. I wouldn't mind the monocle either. If they want to go ahead and fully fully push. You know,
If it gets real fancy.
yeah, give me the monocle Penguin too. But yeah, y'all, fan fucking tastics across the board for the Penguin. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. As far as streaming for the rest of the week, Wednesday, I'll probably have Brandon back on to talk Agatha all along. I'll see if Canada is free. If Doggett is free, I will bring him back. So we might have 4 people on that review. Which
Yeah,
would
that's
be,
right. I might take this whole goddamn channel from you. What?
which you know I have playback, right? You know this is recording, but so we'll have a review for Agatha all along on Wednesday, and then Saturday I will be streaming Resident Evil 4. Actually, no, I'm not going to stream Resident Evil 4. I'm sorry. Saturday, I'm going to be streaming Batman the Telltale series. I'm going to stream episode 2, which is, the Penguin being a big fixture in that first season. Gonna have fun getting more into that world because I haven't played those games in a while, and that first playthrough was a lot of fun. So we're gonna get back into the Batman.
It would be funny to play the Telltale game.
Yeah, those games are fun, man. So I'll be streaming that on Saturday, and then as far as what's coming up review wise, my review for oh god, what am I reviewing this week? For Red One, God help me, that will be out this weekend. I so don't want to see that.
Jesus.
But here we are. As far as what's on the channel right now, quite a bit of shit actually. I had a interview with writer, actress, director Sarah Friedman for her feature debut Heightened, which deals with mental health. That's up on the channel right now, as well as the video interview on the YouTube. I did a interview with Zoe Eisenberg, who wrote this feature called Chaperone. Basically think of a better version of May December. That's up on the show. Yeah, shit's intense, man, but it's a great fucking flick. That review for Chaperone and that interview is up on the channel. Wherever you listen to podcasts now, the video interview is up as well. I just did a interview for this film called Our Dad Danielle, which is about actress Danielle Joy Healy coming out as a trans woman right before she turned 60. That was a really great interview that we had. I interviewed her and the director of the documentary, S.C. King. That's up on the channel now. And then, oh my gosh, what else? And then I did a interview about this Trump documentary with the director Daniel Partland. That is up on the channel right now, as well as a review of that. Yeah, lots of reviews up on the channel right now, so go ahead and check those out. And then, like I said, I'll have a review for Red One up this weekend, a review for Agatha up this week, and then I'll have a review for Gladiator up this week, because I have not watched. I haven't watched Gladiator since Hollywood Video Days, and with Gladiator 2 coming out next week, yeah, perfect time to revisit it. So I'll have a review for Gladiator this weekend. Oh yeah, and I have my I know what I'll be reviewing for 12 days of real holiday reviews. I will reveal that list at the end of the month. Yeah, y'all have to wait. But I know my 12. I know what's being reviewed. But yeah, y'all, a lot of reviews coming on the pipeline for y'all. So Dogget, if you could please tell the people where they can find you before we let you go.
Well, you can find me doing reviews on oneofus.net. I think I've just done a review for Vox Machina on there, so you all should check that out.
Nice.
I think I'm interviewing Stavros Hakis for his new movie Let's Start a Cult. You can find that interview in my fantasies. But really, that's all I got going on, Brandon.
Yeah, I am in the same spot I always am, usually here with Hunter. But if not, you can catch me on the Letterbox, Brando, not Marlon, where I post most of my reviews. And yeah, that's me.
Boom. And then as far as the pod, pretty much subscribe to the podcast. Go ahead and give me a follow, give me a rating. Definitely helps the show out. Pretty much listen to the show wherever you listen to podcasts: SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneUp, and Samsung Podcasts, to name a few. At The Real Pineapple, you can find yours truly on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. That's what I'm doing right after here. I'm updating my I'm updating my Letterboxd. You can go ahead and find me now on Blue Sky at realpineapple.bsky.social. I'm going to be off Twitter by the end of the year. So yeah, make sure you're following me there. And then, yeah, for those video interviews, go ahead and just find the show on YouTube at The Real Pineapple. That's REEL Pineapple. Yeah. So I will put up the streaming schedule here so you guys know when I'll be streaming over next week. But Dogget, Brandon, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate y'all. And I'll just say, in the spirit of Oswald Cobblepot, to give you guys a little bit of a speech on the way out. I know shit's scary right now. I don't think I need to tell y'all why. I know shit is a lot. I know it's scary, but please check in on your people. Please check in on your people. Please check in on, yeah, just check in on your people. Make sure people are hanging out, doing okay. But we'll get through this, y'all. And just know The Real Pineapple's here for you. We will be as relevant and terrible as ever. But but thank you so much for listening. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.